I recently came across, or was reminded of more accurately, reminded of my old blog that I had for the year that I lived in Cairo, Egypt. And if you know my story, then you'd know that between 2010 and 2011, I lived in Cairo, Egypt, where I worked at the British Council teaching English, right? And if you know my story, you know that that period of my life was mahusive, like for reals mahusive. I had just been granted my divorce 2 weeks prior to flying out. I left my kids with their father in the UK. I went and stayed on my own for pretty much most of that time. I experienced the Egyptian revolution, was evacuated. Like, let me tell you, yeah, that time. Stories upon stories upon stories. And that's why I had a blog while I lived in Egypt. And I was reading some of the entries, and it just left such a feeling within me. And obviously, in the way that I work, I got curious about that. Like, what is this feeling that I'm feeling right now? And why in the world am I getting teary-eyed about it? Those were questions I asked myself. And it was interesting to me just to stop for a moment, reading these entries of times that brought me so much joy and an array of other emotions in between, and just how alive I felt within myself in Egypt. And I realized that aliveness, like, there's so much going on in my life personally that you probably never know about, because not everything for the world, right? And it's just incredible to me to just reflect on what I feel that I'm currently missing in my life, that I had in Egypt, that was inducing tears as I was reading the blog entries. And I mean, I didn't really pinpoint it to one thing, but I know that in Egypt, that was a massive time of really, and probably the first time in my life, really connecting with myself, being alone with myself, and not necessarily being on my own, but being alone with myself, and being alone with myself with love, with grace, with compassion, and without fear, and without feeling like I needed someone in my life to fill voids, That sense of peace was massive there. And it just made me think how often we think we miss something, miss someone, miss somewhere, but it's actually not the thing or the place or the person that we miss. It's the feeling that thing, that person, that place brought us, or that we experienced with that thing or with that person or in that place. And so often we lament, oh, I wish I could go back to so and so, or I wish I had so and so in my life, or I wish I hadn't lost this or lost that. But it's not the thing, it's not the person, it's not the place. It's that feeling. And we can have that feeling. As I reflected, it wasn't that I couldn't have that sense of connection. But with all the things going on in my life and the busyness of the work that I do, I noticed that it was this feeling that was missing, this groundedness with myself, the space, the connection, that real connection. And all I did, I lay down on my bed, hand on heart, and I just took some deep breaths. Some real good belly popping, belly filling deep breaths. That hand on my heart, and realize, well, it's not about being in Egypt. I can have that feeling anywhere. I can create that feeling anywhere. I have the power to do that wherever I am, whatever situation I might find myself in, whoever I might be surrounded by, I have the power to create that feeling of peace, that feeling of connection within myself, anytime I want, anywhere I choose. And I'm sharing this with you not to air my business, but to really show you and to let you know too that you can do that. You can do that wherever you find yourself. Whatever time, whatever place, you can find that missing feeling that you say that you're yearning for. It is not the person that gave it to you. It is not the place that brought it to you. It is not the thing that enabled you to have that. The Lord of the worlds, your creator, has given you the ability to actually create feelings inside you, like outside of needing things, people, and being in certain places. You can have that. Like, you can have that. You can create that whenever. And it just, listen, I'm actually recording this right after the event, after the fact, right? So this is like real life experience that I'm sharing. Because reading back on my blog, I really thought, man, I need to go back to Egypt, yo. Like, I feel like I do, because like sunshine, and let's face it, I can't create sunshine in London. Nope, I can't. So there are some things out of my control in that respect. But just coming to the realization that what was it about Cairo? Yes, there were smells and sounds, and the morning donkey braying, and the amazing tomatoes. The tomatoes in Egypt show us off the hook. Just like, there are some things that are just unique to the country and the city. Yes, yes, yes. But when I really dug deep, besides all of those experiences, besides the excitement and the fun and the joy and the just pure chaos, it was connection inside myself. I felt deep connection and peace within myself in that city. And I don't need to be in Cairo to have that. I don't need to be in Cairo to experience that. I don't need to be in Cairo to create that. And switching it back to you, whatever you say that you want, feel like you need, person that you say that you really miss. Okay, there are, let's be real, there are people that we miss, right? But it's not that they gave us something that we can never get without them. And get curious about what it is. What's the feeling really that you are craving, the feeling you're yearning for, the feeling that you are missing, and realize how much you can actually create that in your life right now. And the beauty of that, it just empowers you. It empowers you to be able to be in a state that's useful and resourceful and empowered for yourself, instead of being in that disempowered place where you rely on something, someone, or someplace. I hope you find this useful.